Today we are going to start the new unit, that is the structure of atom. Now, from the Dalton atomic theory, we came to know that the atom is indivisible. According to Dalton, the atom was indivisible. It cannot be broken down into, we can say it doesn't contain any subatomic particle. But now, according to the modern atomic theory, we know that the atoms are the divisible. It has been further subdivided, and this was possible because of the discoveries which were made by the end of the 19th century. Right. So first of all, the discovery was of the cathode ray tube. Right. So when the cathode ray tube, number of scientists were doing the work on the cathode ray tube, right, and it was finally came the credit to the J.J. Thomson for the discovery of the electron. Now just let us go through the cathode ray tube experiment so that we can come to the discovery of the electrons. Now just see the diagram here. In the cathode ray experiment, right, we have got a glass tube which is known as the discharge tube. Right, so we have got a glass tube which will be called discharge tube, right, and inside the discharge tube we have got two electrodes, right. One is rendered to be cathode or the negative electrode as connected to the negative terminal of the high voltage source, right, and the another electrode is the anode which is connected to the positive terminal of the high voltage source. Right, now the discharge tube contains the gas inside it, or we can say air inside it, right, and it is been the discharge tube is been connected to the vacuum pump. Now when the 1 atmospheric pressure is applied, it is a normal atmospheric pressure is inside the discharge tube, right, and when the electric current is being passed, or we can say the potential difference is applied, at that time we will see no observation, there was nothing observed inside. But gradually when the pressure is lowered down with the help of the vacuum pump, by drawing the air gas outside to 10 raised to power minus 2 atm, right, and applying the voltage. So when the pressure was lowered to 10 raised to power minus 2 atm, and the potential difference which was applied was of 1000 volt, sorry, 10,000 volt. At that time there was the, we can say, the flow of certain, right, particles, certain rays were observed, right, and these rays were just coming out from the cathode, or we can say the path traveled, the ray was coming and that path was getting illuminated, lightened up, and when the pressure was lowered more to 10 raised to power minus 4 atm, then what happened, the path, now later on when it was lowered down to 10 raised to power minus 4 atm, then the path didn't get brightened up, only certain, we can say, scintillation or fluorescence was observed from the glass walls. Now students, what is fluorescence? It means, we can say, bright light or a spot, right, bright light or a spot that was observed from the glass, and the color of the light, bright light, will depend upon the nature of the glass that is being used. Now since the particles, right, that means there are certain particles which were coming out of the cathode, right, and when the pressure was lowered down to 10 to power minus 4 atm, potential difference was maintained at 10,000 volt only. Then what happened, the particles which are coming out from the cathode and moving their way toward the anode, that ray were known as the cathode ray, right. So the rays, cathode ray, why they were called so, because these rays were coming out from the cathode, from the negative electrode, and moving their way toward the anode, right, and since these particles were coming, since this ray was coming out from the cathode, it was named as a cathode ray, and it consisted of the negative charged particle. Now, in this way, the electron was, the cathode ray experiment was made. Now, next come the characteristics of the cathode ray. Characteristics of cathode ray. The first was that the cathode ray traveled in a straight line. Right? That means they were not deflecting toward any side, they were just going straight toward the anode. And how it was proved that it traveled in a straight line, right? By placing an object in the path of the cathode ray, a shadow was casted on the other side, right? So in this way, it was shown that it was traveling in a straight line or showing the rectilinear propagation. Now, second was that the cathode ray shows the mechanical property, or we can say that it consists of particle. Now students, if a ray consists of particle, it means that that ray will have will apply certain, we can say, due to the mass of the particle, it will be having some momentum on certain body, or we can say it will do some mechanical work. So it was proved how that when a, we can say, a paddle wheel was placed in the path of the cathode ray, that paddle wheel just turned due to the striking of the cathode ray. So that is only possible when that ray consists of some particle, or we can say show the mechanical property. Third is cathode ray heated up the light metal when it falls on it. So when a cathode ray is made to fall on a light metals, right, aluminium, gold, so it will heat up that metal. It will impart, or it will, on striking, it will just heat the surface of that metal. Fourth is when electric field is applied perpendicular to the direction of cathode ray, right, it gets deflected toward the positive end or positive terminal. Now student, what does it mean that it is bending toward the positive terminal? So if I just show in this diagram only, when the external electric field is been applied, direction of the movement of the cathode ray, it is in this way. So when an electric field is applied from outside, right, this is plus end and this is negative terminal of the external source, what will happen? This cathode ray will just bend toward the positive terminal of the external source, which shows that the cathode ray consists of the particles which are just opposite to the charge of the positive terminal, right? That is the negative charge. So the cathode ray consists of the negative particles. In the same way, the cathode ray also get deflected toward the magnetic field, right? So whenever a magnetic field is applied, right, it will show its deflection towards the direction which is at that time possible, or which is in the direction where the magnetic field, the cathode ray gets deflected toward it, right? This we will do when we do the next experiment, that is the determine the charge to mass ratio. Now next come the cathode ray generate Okay, now let me mention here also one thing, that same, that when magnetic field is applied, perpendicular to direction of cathode ray, it gets deflected or it shows deflection. Now next is that cathode ray, that is, it generates X-rays when fall on heavy metals like tungsten. So when it will fall on the heavy metal, it will just generate the X-rays. Second, next is that cathode ray can penetrate, or it has got penetrating power, right? So cathode ray can penetrate through the metal foil, right? Now these are the main characteristics that is shown by the cathode ray.